This is my third presidential election with CNN, and it's always exactly the same pattern. A lot of energy leading up to election day, and then things drop off substantially. And you spend the next 6 months kind of bringing back an audience and getting excitement after this fatigue. And we have not seen that whatsoever. We would expect after the election, and we predicted that all traffic across all platforms, TV and digital, would go down. And in fact, what we've seen across TV and digital is new high marks. In fact, in January, I just looked at the numbers of 2017, it was the second highest month in digital's traffic. And the only other month was the November 2016 elections. We've launched a suite of new mobile apps. So for phone, tablet, and watch across Android and iOS, so I think that's 6, plus integrations with things like Apple TV and Android TV. We've really reimagined how our consumers are connecting with us on mobile. And so what we needed to do is to go back and say, okay, you may have the #1 news app, which we still have the #1 news app, but really where is the consumption happening and why mess with the app? And so the numbers are really startling. If you look at mobile, which is bigger than desktop now, Andy, but if you look at mobile, you realize that on the web, we have 10 times as many users as on apps. But the individuals that are on our apps are reading 13 times more page views and 17 times more video. So when you look at the overall consumption of this audience, that's 1/10 of mobile web, it's actually larger because of the engagement. And many brands see this, right? So apps are an opportunity to connect very deeply with the audience. So there were a few things we were trying to accomplish with the new apps. The first was really to connect people with top news and original reporting, daily, ongoing. We have a editorial staff that's actually programming the app now, every day, 24/7, as opposed to feeds put inside a container that's an app. We've wanted to connect with our users on video in a more meaningful way. So CNN Go and all of the clips collections, more than 100 hours of content, original content from the Anthony Bourdains of the world and the Lisa Lings. All of that we wanted to pack into this handset, which we hadn't done before. We wanted a gateway to our premium brands. So CNN Money, CNN Politics, CNN Tech. We've been launching more and more kind of bespoke experiences and premium experiences for our advertisers and for our consumers, and we wanted to bring them together in a cohesive way. We wanted to create personalization, which is something you can't really do on the web very easily. And then for our advertisers, we really wanted to connect with them. We wanted to give them those storytelling techniques and tools. We wanted to create an immersive brand experience. And I can tell you that those experiences have been meaningful. What we've told advertisers is, the stories that we want to tell as a publisher, you can tell as well. You can have these immersive, responsive experiences that are data-centric and have inline video and inline imagery. You can do native content. We'll label it very clearly, but you can create the same type of content that we're putting in our experiences for our audience.
And Alex, tell us about the authenticated users and streaming the programming. And we've heard a lot recently in the States, at least, about Verizon, their unlimited data plan. And
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about what we call TV Everywhere, but live streaming of the linear program.
So the notion of CNN Go, which was classically the TV Everywhere solution, where people would authenticate inside of the experience using their TV provider credentials. I think we're looking at that word more expansively, that brand, CNN Go. For us, CNN Go is really the overall video experience. Some of that is the actual live simulcast of CNN, CNNI, HLN, some of the things we've talked about together in the past. But now we have really hundreds of clips. We have collections of content, original programming, and some of it's authenticated and some of it isn't authenticated. We have raw feeds of content that's coming in that isn't authenticated. But what we're trying to do is create a video ecosystem for the people who want video and introduce them to a lot of different storytelling, and in many cases use techniques to convert them into authenticated users. And so we use stunts, right? We'll do previews of content. We'll give people the ability to try CNN Go on a daily basis. And what we've seen is high as 20 to 25% conversion rates when we do that.
Cool. And finally, the opportunities for brands on CNN. Not everybody wants to be associated with news, and you don't. It's not just politics or war, and there's a lot of different programming aspects. I know it's not your job to sell, but tell us about the environment and how that environment is created or it can be used by brands in a way that they're comfortable with.
The content now, of course, our bread and butter has always been breaking news and top news across the globe. We have more news gathering resources across the globe than anyone. So we need to be a breaking news outlet. But what has happened under Jeff Zucker's leadership is really an emphasis not only on digital, but on original programming and content. So you'll see series, you'll see original programs like Anthony Bourdain, like a special from a Sanjay Gupta or Fareed Zakaria. You'll see films and franchises, the 70s, the 80s. And this is the kind of content that really rounds out the offering. Never before did people believe you would binge on CNN. Like, who would have thought that you would find hundreds of hours of content on CNN that you would want to watch, that it wasn't ephemeral, like poof in the air. The other thing that I think is important for our advertisers is that we're getting better at understanding what we have, Andy. So we have a lot of content, but by ascribing the right metadata, by really understanding what video content we have in particular, we can personalize the experience for both the audience and the advertisers. And so we're creating these experiences that on the one hand are very relevant and essential, but on the other hand feel like we get you, right? The best products are the products that get you, and that's something that we can do inside the apps as well.